So hi, one of the Good Noise podcasts. We're here with Colin from Slaves. We're going to ask him some questions today. I'm going to start. What inspired you guys to start the band, and what does the band name mean?
Um, so the band was pretty much started revolving pretty much around our previous singer Johnny. He was in a few previous bands before Slaves and was doing his solo project for a while, and I wanted to get back into a band, so we just gathered a few friends, and yeah, that's how that started. What was the second part of that question?
What does your band name mean?
Slaves. It's a reference to a lot of our content in our songs is about addiction, and it's just being a slave to whatever your addiction may be, or any vice or something, anything along the lines of that in your life, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay. So we actually heard you're changing your name. Can you
Yep.
tell us, can you hint at what it'll possibly be? Are you
Uh,
allowed to?
well, we have a front runner, and we have a couple that we like, but we haven't really decided on name for sure yet. So I have no hints as of yet, but there'll be
Okay.
some more information out soon.
All right.
Sick. All right. All right. I had to try.
Good
So,
try.
yeah, thank you. So, congrats on your newest release, To Better Days. How do you feel about the response you've gotten to it so far?
So far, it's been really good. I know we were all really excited. Right after while we were recording this album, we were really excited to put it out like right off the bat. So it's been really cool having so many singles
Mm-hmm.
to stretch throughout the year. I think we released Heavier about a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
So just really excited to get the whole album out, and it's been a good year.
Yeah. Wait, so if you've released it to other people, what have they said about it? How do you feel about that?
We've gotten really good responses. Everybody, a lot of people, pretty much almost everybody said that this is their favorite album so far,
Mhm.
and we really stepped it up. And Matt has really fit in really well. So the response has been more than we could even ask for, really.
Oh, deserved. Yeah.
Yeah. Gloria and I both
Yeah.
got an opportunity to listen to it, so you can add
Mhm.
2 more positive reviews
Yes.
to the,
Oh,
to the
cool.
overwhelming
Mhm.
response.
Very good.
Nice. Thank you.
So can you tell me a little bit about your writing process for this album, and how do you think it's changed since your debut until now?
Yeah. So the writing process, it's always kind of been different from record to record. Actually, the first 2 records were written by our former guitar player Alex Lyman before the band even really started. I think he was just stockpiling songs that for the band that he was in at that time, and they ended up getting used for Slaves albums. Beautiful Death was written between me, Johnny, Eric Ron, and Weston in the studio, and it was kind of like a last minute, like, all right, we're in the studio. We gotta make an album now with no previous songs written or anything like that.
Wow.
So this is the first album that we were able to, as a full band, like 2 guitar players, bass player, drummer, singer, all be in the studio with our producer Jimmy. And once again, it was kind of like, all right, we're in the studio with very little material previously written. We have 40 days. Let's knock out an album. But we were able to do it. It was actually pretty smooth. And but yeah, the biggest difference was just how collaborative it was as a full band.
Yeah.
So would you prefer going into the studio and writing the album in like a 40-day time period, or do you prefer going in with like music already written and then polishing it in the studio?
Well, this next time around, we are definitely doing it more that way. We're gonna have a lot more songs written. We're all gonna be me, Weston, and Felipe are gonna be living in a house with a studio in it. And we're going to start the process pretty early. We have plenty of time on our hands right now, so right after our live show on August 5th, we're all going to come back and start writing that album. But I don't know. I don't know which way I prefer because I've never done it this way. So it's always been just kind of rushed in the studio. So which is also pretty cool in itself, and it kind of forces you to really get to work on things, which is pretty cool. So I imagine it'll be kind of like that anyway, even if we have songs prepared, because a lot will probably get changed. And, the pressure's really on when you're in the studio.
Okay. Yeah, I
Alright.
get that.
Wait, so while you're in the studio, doing it in the 40-day period, do you think you made more songs while doing that? Like more of that got cut off, I guess?
Did we cut any songs on this album?
Yeah.
Yeah, we cut. I think so the studio is pretty much split into 6 weeks.
Mhm.
Excuse excuse me, 6 weeks total. And so the first 3 weeks we used for writing and like demoing songs. And I think in those 3 weeks we got to like 14 songs or 15 songs,
Wow.
and we cut the album down to 13. So and out of those 14, 15 songs, I think we had lyrics. We completed 14 of them, and then just cut one of those with vocals and melodies on top of that. So only one song that was completely recorded and done we cut.
Okay.
Wow. All right. Would you ever release that as like a special
Yeah,
little?
maybe. Yeah, maybe. It's
Okay.
it's a song that we actually wrote when we were like in between tours in Vegas, and it was just it was just kind of a completely different sound.
Okay.
But it kind of I think we just have I don't know, it didn't completely fit with the album as well as we thought, but I still like it.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense. So, where was your headspace while making this album?
It was. I think we all felt like we had a lot to prove. We were, as I mentioned, just in the middle of replacing our frontman Johnny with Matt, and we never had written any songs with Matt. We knew we vibed well, like on the road and personality wise. That all was working out great, but we didn't know what it was going to be like in the studio. So that was a little nerve wracking in the beginning, but I think after the first couple of days, we were like, oh, okay, yeah, we're gonna be just fine. Yeah, it was just kind of knowing that we have a lot to prove, and that at that point, I think we were already really confident in ourselves. And so it was just about like having to still see all of the comments online saying how done we are and this and that, when we know we're like in the studio writing some good songs and really proud of them. So it was just like going back to what we said earlier, even more eager to get these songs out. And,
Yeah.
everybody, we've been working hard.
Yeah. Okay. It shows. So what does the album name mean, To Better Days?
To Better Days is pretty much just like a kind of like a glimpse into the future. It's like just kind of like a little statement that gives you hope. Pretty much the whole vibe of the album is getting over like mental illness and knowing that you're not alone during these tough times, and just different situations that we have to all go through in life. And so I think just wrapping it up and putting a little bow on it is just putting a little a nice little phrase like "To Better Days" on there, a little glimpse of hope.
Yeah. Oh, wow, I love that. Okay. So how do you feel about the growth that has happened to you and the band members personally, and the band like number wise that has happened from your debut to now?
Sorry, say that again. I think my.
Oh, okay. How do you feel about the growth that has happened personally with you and the band members, and the band like separately numbers wise that has happened from your debut to now?
Oh, it's been crazy. It's number wise, we've more than doubled everything stream wise, and that's pretty cool to see. It's pretty cool to watch. It's I always like work that you could do that you could see your progress in, and the reward is the progress that you're making. So that's been cool. It also reassures us that we're doing something right. And just as far as individually, it's like it's I think I'm losing light here. Hold on one second.
It's okay.
I'm just gonna turn that off. Yeah, I think individually we've all grown. We're all in a much more positive state of mind, and our future's a little bit more clear. So we're just it's just overall just a lot of growth in the past year and a half, and I keep on saying it, but like we put in a lot of work, and I think it just makes what we do just more valuable to ourselves, because we put a lot of our time and a lot of our life goes into this, so it makes our work just more valuable to ourselves.
Yeah. Okay.
Solid.
So what band influences do you think you hear on the new record, if any?
What influences do we have?
Yeah.
That stretches from like all over the place. I think particularly in that time, I don't know how much it's like influenced the album at all, but I know I was listening to the Bring Me the Horizons album, Ammo, I think. That's what it was out. I'm always like a I'm a huge fan of Radiohead, so if anything sounds remotely Radiohead-ish, which none of our music really does, but even if there's like a little part in there that does, I'm like, oh, that's dope. I love that. But I don't know really. I think we all have a really wide range of influences, and everybody individually brings a little bit of that into it. But I can't really put one or two bands on like specifically for this album. I'm not really sure.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So, what song on the album took the longest to write, and do you personally have a favorite?
I'm trying to think what song. There was one song in particular. Man, and I know the guys are gonna kill me if I get it wrong. Well, not kill me, but they're just gonna be like, "Dude, it wasn't that song." I think it's the song called "Witch Hunt." It was either "Witch Hunt" or maybe it was "Buried Alive," but one of those two. What it was, we had the parts for it. Like all the parts sounded cool, but it was really hard to put it to. We just couldn't figure out a cool way to put it together. But it wasn't worth scrapping because we knew we liked the parts individually so much, and we were like, that is the sound that's dope. But it was just so hard to connect those pieces. So it just made it, like I was trying to say, it made it not worth throwing out. But so we stuck on it, and it took a few days of like racking our brains. But eventually, when you hear it, when we heard the final product, we're like, okay, that was cool. It was worth it. It was worth it.
Yeah. And then do you have a favorite off of the record?
Favorite off the record? It kind of always changes for me, but initially, I think right away, like when the album was done and I heard it back for the first time, I think Cursed, maybe. Like the song Cursed. Also, Eye Opener is another one of my favorites. Talk to a Friend. But yeah, Cursed I think was the original one, and the acoustic song on there I like a lot too.
Good. So when people are listening to the album, is there a certain feeling you want them to have?
I don't know. It just depends on no feeling in particular that we're aiming for, but I know for me, even it doesn't matter. Any song that like provokes emotion out of me, even if it's like a bad or a sad emotion, or I love it. Like like feed me all the sad songs, because if they it's just the ones that provoke the most emotion, or that brings the most emotion out of me. Those are my favorite types of songs. So I just hope there's some songs on the album that could do that for the listeners.
Yeah. Okay. That makes plenty of sense. I understand that one. So how did you choose the opener and closer track for the album? Did you guys write it to aim for that, or did it just happen?
That's a good question. The intro was all credit goes to Jimmy, our producer. He actually did that when we were like because we recorded the album in Chicago. We rented the Airbnb and a car and a studio, and our producer lives in Australia, so he was just flown in for this record. Wow. And after it's all done, he flew home, and it was actually a couple of weeks later when he like brought this idea to us, and he was like, hey, I have this idea, taking like little snippets of each song and putting them in for the intro and like leading it right into the first track. And we were like, yeah, let's hear it. And a couple of days later he gave it to us, and we're like, yeah, that's awesome. And it took him like I think probably like another week to work on it and get it all pieced together. And yeah, he showed it to us, and we're like, yeah, that's awesome. And as far as the outro, no, that song just sounded like an outro song. We're like,
yeah,
it was one of the last couple of songs I think we were working on and finished up, and just because of the acoustic in it. And I think we had like two endings for that song. I think one ending was going to be just like going back into an acoustic like part of the song, and like only acoustic, and it just sounded like even like hearing it live on stage sounds like it would be a good song to walk off on. Or so yeah, it just that kind of worked out that way.
Okay,
wow. It's perfect.
Yeah. So you did speak about the live stream show a little bit. What can fans expect from that on August 5th?
So the live stream show is going to be, it's going to be fun. I can't wait. It's the first time we're going to play these songs live. Actually, the first time we're ever going to be jamming these songs together will be when we practice for it a couple days before the live stream show. But don't worry, we'll make it all tight. yeah, we're really excited for it. We're working on some cool lights and everything like that. You could buy tickets at slvs.veeps.com. It's also going to come with I believe it's a digital version of the album, so you'll get the album as well with it. And yeah, we're gonna have some fun, play some. I know everybody else is dying for live music. We're dying for live music, and this is as close as we could get. So yeah, excited to play these new songs. We're also gonna be playing some of the old songs, and I think we're doing about 16 songs live. So.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
So speaking of live music, what is the thing you miss the least about touring?
The least about
Mm-hmm.
touring. That's a good one. I when I think about touring, and the first thing that pops out to me that that I'm not looking forward not doing is taking a shower, because when you're not on a bus with a shower in it, it's you just feel so grimy just on tour. And
Yeah.
like I like showers every day, and we're usually pretty good about it. We all have gym memberships, so even if we don't have if we're not in on a bus with a shower on it, we still usually make it to a gym at least once a day.
Mm-hmm.
But especially on tour, when you're just feeling so grimy and you're sweating and you're in tight quarters, I like showering a lot. So I guess not having that at whenever I want it is probably the part I look forward to least.
Yeah. I never really thought about that. Oh, yeah, because okay. Cool.
Yeah, sweaty venues and tight quarters and no showers. I don't like it. I don't like
No,
it.
it's not a good combo. No, not at all.
It's
God.
a little stinky up in there.
Just
So back to that album for 1 second. What are your top 3 songs that you're looking forward to playing live off of that album?
Ooh, okay. I think "Buried Alive" would have to be up there. I think that song's gonna be really good live. We've actually played "Prayers" and "Heavier" live before, so those are the only 2 songs we have played live. And "Prayers" really went off, and that's when we were touring when it came out, so people caught on to it, got the words, and started singing them back loud right away. So that song, I'm excited to hear how that is now after it's been out for a while. And I think "Talk to a Friend" is going to go over really well live as well.
all good ones. All right.
Yep.
So where do you see the band in the next 5 years?
That's another good question. I think with how we all are individually, the kind of music we all like, I could see this band really kind of adapting to our age. I could see us, being a band that's, like Oasis or something, and when we're like 40, if we wanted to still do it. And so yeah, I don't know. I feel like for once we have we could actually look forward into the future without having to worry about so many other things. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know where we'll be in 5 years, but hopefully we'll have made good changes and made smart decisions.
Yeah.
And hopefully the world's back to somewhat of a normal by then. Yeah.
World's
Yeah.
not, yeah.
Yeah.
That's that.
So for the last couple of questions, we're going to shift away from music and we're going to go straight to death row. So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
Ooh. I think I've thought about this before.
Okay. All right.
Well, I don't remember what I came up with. Probably, I don't know. Probably a good surf and turf steak and lobster dinner or something. I don't know. I hope I'm never on death row.
Yeah. Let's hope not.
Yeah.
Wait, do you have a drink?
Oh, and a drink. A good old fashioned OG blue Gatorade.
All right.
Send me out with some basic stuff.
All right. It's a good one. Good thing you didn't choose like red or something, because that's disgusting. Okay. So if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
One fictional world.
Mm-hmm.
I think anywhere in the Lord of the Rings, which is just New Zealand.
Yeah.
So let's go with the Lord of the Rings world.
All right.
And I have the honor of asking the last question, and everyone we've spoken to says the most important question: what is your favorite color?
Favorite color? It's seafoam green.
Ooh,
It's very
it's a
specific.
very
I
nice
like
green.
it.
So
Mhm.
I have a bass guitar that color, and
Ooh.
yeah, for that was it's been for some reason that specific color has been my favorite color for since I was like sixth grade, I think.
All right. You'll have
It's a
to
good
see it.
color.
Thank you.
So thank you for sitting down with us. This has been Colin from Slaves, and we're the Good Noise Podcast.